Hey everyone, I'm Erica Despain. I'm the owner and editor of All Things Madison. Welcome to our monthly State of the Real Estate Market Address. Every month we get on here and we really break down the real estate market for Madison, Alabama specifically. So if you are thinking of buying or selling in Madison, Alabama, this is the video to watch. It is December 2022. We are joined today by our co-host. He's the owner and broker of Essential Real Estate, Beau. And we also have an incredible co-host with us today, Greg Johnson. He is the owner of Pillar to Post, really a rocker and roller in the inspection industry here in North Alabama. He has served homes in Madison, dozens and dozens of homes throughout Madison. So he really knows his stuff. And that inspection, if you have bought or sold a home, you know the call. Hold your breath when Greg Johnson shows up, because it makes a difference when you buy or sell. So everybody grab a coffee, and we're going to turn it over to Beau, who's going to share what is going on in Madison, Alabama in real estate. It's a wild, wild world out there. Beau, take it away.
Let's go. Well, first of all, Merry Christmas, everybody. We are less than 2 weeks away from the big guy coming down our chimneys, and I am very excited about it. But as we do every month, let's go. Glasses going on. Here's the rules. Madison City in the last 30 days. That's all we're talking about right now, unless I specify other things. So, active today in the market, 375 houses. Last month, 389.
Oh,
down.
I thought that was going to be up. Actually,
most people do think that right now. And again, I'm always going back to my 2019 numbers, because 2019 was our last market that was similar to this. We could probably go to like last year and it'd be like two houses were on the market. Like right now, in 2019 there were 201 active homes. So we're over that. But again, I say it every month, so I'll stop one day saying it. Builders now put a lot more into the MLS than they used to, okay? So we just kind of have a lot more data to go off of. And I don't know if you've noticed, Madison might have grown a little bit, so maybe in 3 years we have more square acreage to actually go for. So we haven't grown, I guess, in much in city limits, but we have more areas where there are houses. So it's just gotten busier. Let's talk about pending, contingent, or sold. Last month, there were 262. This month, we only had 204. We're still over 200 homes selling in 30 days. And that included Thanksgiving, guys. So don't forget, there was basically what amounts to a week there. I was gone. I think. Yeah. I don't know if you were gone. I don't know if you were, Greg, but I know I was talking to all of you during that time. And so, a lot of times we just weren't selling during that week. I hate to say it, but we just kind of weren't.
Makes sense.
But then again, in 2019, only 186. So we're still doing better than those numbers. We're still tracking better and stronger than our last normal market. Prices, last month, we were at average price of a sold home of those 204 was $396,000, 396,312. Sorry, I say it wrong every time.
That's really high.
Yeah, I know. Compared to 2019, it was 292, 217. So we're over $100,000 in difference of prices. Again, though, you've got to factor in that we've had a lot of builders and not just the equity boom that we had in the last 2 years, we've had a lot of builders come into the outlying areas. And so that has brought in, they've had a lot of construction material costs change. I mean, we're friends with Sam Bryan. Go ask Sam what his material cost is, and he'll just go, oh gosh, because it's crazy right now. And all the builders are saying that. So something else you should know is days on the market. We're at 22 days on the market. That is up a little bit. I didn't get that stat, but I felt like it was 17 last month.
I think we were at 19 in November, and now we're at 22, which is still
very comparable. And don't forget, we had a week where basically things don't move as quick during that week. And then in 2019, it was 35 days on the market for the same period of time. So I guess the reason I keep on bringing the 2019 up is just to, again, like we talked last month, Erica, to calm those fears and calm those nerves, because a lot of people are just convinced it's going to go bad. We were waiting on a rate increase in November. did not get it. Now, the rumor is just coming, literally could come today till I think the end of next week is when they'll stop.
Rumor.
What now?
Rumor.
And innuendo. We don't know, but we heard that rumor in November and we were told a 0.75. Now they're saying a little bit less, which means what the federal Reserve is seeing is they're seeing the slowdown, which nobody likes to admit it. They wanted because of inflation. And so because of this, when they're not going as aggressive in rate increases, it means they're seeing a slowdown in inflation, which is what they want, which will bring buyers back into our market, and it will balance itself out. It's a big economics thing. Today's not the day for it because we have one of my favorite people here. We have Greg. And Greg's an inspector, as you just said. And again, I want to go through one quick thing, and then I'm going to kind of toss it, and we'll start talking. But I want to make something clear. In Alabama, we're one of the last few remaining states that are buyer beware, which means
Tell us what that means.
When you buy a house, unless it is known health or safety issues, they don't have to disclose it to you. If you go to other states, they give you a form that says roof is this age, water heater's this age, air conditioning's this age, yada, yada. Do you know any problem? When was this last replaced in service, and this and this and this? You get all those things. Here, you get a contract, and then you please, people, get an inspection. Get it on a new build. It's okay to get it on. Greg has found 100 things wrong on my new builds with people. And so I tell people all the time, it is so imperative to get a great inspector. It's not funny. And so, Greg, I kind of want to toss it to you to say, hey, look, what are you seeing nowadays? Are we still seeing the same problems? Are you finding different problems? Because you've been doing it for several years. Is it changed in your market since our market's kind of all over the place? Are you seeing anything new?
I say as far as what we're seeing being recorded at homes, it's always going to be the same things. New construction, people get in a hurry. Builders get in a hurry. They're trying to get closed, especially those last 3 or 4 weeks. They're cramming a lot of stuff in there. They got a lot of people overlapping each other. And so things just a lot of times they just get forgotten, or they get done halfway and not completed. And so those are things and those are usually things that you can't see. It's not like you can make sure that when you walk into a new build, you're not going to walk through the home to a new buyer and check every plug and make sure that every plug is the right polarity, much less even working. Same thing with, nobody really wants to be in there. I mean, I've reported homes that were going to close the next day. Last month, I had one that was going to close the next day. No installation yet. And the builder was like, oh, no, that's right. I mean, it was just, it happened. So, things like that. And then with older homes, there's some older home issues that are all over there. You find the wood rot, you find that kind of stuff. But there's also older home issues with electrical stuff that you just can't see. There's all kinds of things going on plumbing that you can't see. And so those
so many code innovations. We've had so much code change. If you go to probably most of us, the millennial age, I'm an elder millennial, but I am still technically the wonderful. You go to typically our grandparents' houses, the older homes, I mean, knob and tube wiring, fuse box, aluminum wiring in there, which is now not code, and it doesn't always have to be replaced and doesn't always have to be those things. But a buyer should know going into a home, this home it's got aluminum wiring sitting back there. And do you know how you know? Because Greg opens up the panel box and he looks at it, which, Erica, did you look inside your panel box? I didn't either.
No.
And so I tell people all the time, I'm like, he does things we don't even think about doing, and it's wonderful.
And the thing about aluminum wiring, so like what you mentioned, aluminum wiring, so solid strand aluminum wiring. The reason that it's not code anymore is because it conducts heat. Aluminum, they still use stranded aluminum for all of your appliances. That's proper. And even if your home has solid strand aluminum wiring in it, you can buy fixtures, light switches, light plugs, light fixtures that are made for aluminum wiring. So it's not like you're saying, oh, we can't buy this home. You just need to know what you're getting into when you do that. A lot of people replace it, and much of it's been replaced over the years anyway, but some haven't yet.
Correct.
And it's a safety issue, but it's not a safety issue, but it's a dress.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, question for you. Months ago when the market was going bananas, many people were waiving the inspection. Right now, people are not waiving the inspection. Are you seeing buyers specifically, really tighten down on what is coming back on that inspection, and then maybe sometimes pulling out of the deal because they know there are other options? What are you seeing as a result of the inspections coming back in a market like this?
Yeah, and so up front, I want to say the last thing we want to do as a company is to be a deal killer.
Yes.
That's not our goal.
Yeah.
And we're not also alarmists. My company, at least, we're not alarmists. We're realists.
Yeah.
We present it real, but we try to be as detailed as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Whereas a year ago, they were like, yeah, okay, fine. I just want to know. Now they're like, oh, which one of those plugs has an open ground, the specific, but they want to know those details. Because again, they're going back a lot of times for some repairs and stuff like that, which is great to know. So yeah, we're seeing people get a lot more questions, and we welcome those. We not like every company. We welcome people to be at our inspections. Yes. Yeah. We're good with them being there. We go over it with them at the end of it. We can play it for them right there on site. We go over everything. We answer questions, because a lot of times, especially, and I don't want to call anybody out, but we have a lot of single moms or young single females who are buying their first home. They're not married yet. And they just like, okay, so what does that mean? We can walk them over there and show them what that is. We can show them, we can pull things up on our iPad and show them what that technically means, but we write it in a language that they can understand. So
and that helps.
We're seeing a lot more details requests.
It helps so much on the agent side when you get a very plain explanation. It's not. Yeah. I mean, I had one that came back to me. We had the seller, right? And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I had to read it 5 times. And I was like, what is he talking about? I finally went to the pictures and was like, I think I know. And then I had to call the other agent to call the inspector to say, can you please define, do you mean this? And he was like, yeah, that's exactly what I wrote. And it's like, it's not what you wrote. It's not what you wrote. And now the problem was, though, here was the kicker. The way he wrote it, I think it was like a roof. And it implied that they had to get a whole new roof. But really, he just wanted something looked at. I don't remember how he wrote it, but the way it was written, and I was like, my guys were like, I guess we're done with this deal because I can't afford a new roof right now. And it was like, oh my gosh, hold on. And so we have to call and get clarification. Greg does help a lot with that. And Greg, I think that, and like, I would say it's not just single female. I mean, I'm pretty good. I remodel my house and I read stuff on those reports and I'm like, well, which way do I turn it? Like, what do I do here? It's so, I mean, Eric, I know when we bought your house and sold your house, with the selling, we did have an inspection. Oh, yeah. And now, can you help me remember? We did have to fix some things. And that was actually one. Now that you're saying this, sorry, I'm not going to call any names out, but the inspector worded an electrical problem where we thought we had to rewire a whole electrical panel. Do you remember that? And it was like, and they were like, no. We just want to know why this is tripping. And we were like, what? But it said like possible fire. It was like, what? Yeah. Well, I guess we're not doing. And I think it was a $200 fix, something small. And Jamie, her husband, was like, yeah, we'll get the electrical fix. That's nothing to, but you remember that worry? Yeah. And so and so that's why I just tell people, and so again, make sure you get an agent who doesn't cause panic when that inspection comes in too, because it is a big thing. It is stressful for the buyer and the seller when they get that report, no matter who likes to admit it or not. It is stressful. Yeah. We as professionals need to calm people down. Greg does a great job. I've seen a lot of other inspectors do it too. Greg, one of the things that I've always preached to people, I don't always do it, Erica will tell you I don't always do it, is that I really believe sellers would be smart to pay to go ahead and have you come out before they go on the market
Yes. Tip number one of the biggest tips from the takeaway from this is have an inspector come out ahead of time.
And again, it doesn't mean you have to fix anything, but at minimum, you know what's coming. And most of the time, you can fix it.
It keeps you in the driver's seat, I think. The seller stays in the driver's seat because you know that a lot of times if the seller hasn't had that done, once the inspection comes in, he gets out from underneath the wheel and the buyer begins to drive now as to what they will and won't do, what they're going to demand, and what, and so the seller's trying to balance that. Of course, you know that far better than I do. But the pre-inspections that we do, I hear back from agents that were like, hey, this helped us set a price where we knew we were going to probably come down in this market a little bit.
Good.
We're going to come down to sell it, but we weren't going to come down to sell it and not know about $8,000 or $10,000 worth of repairs we need to do. We did those on our own, or we put a little clause in there. We were going to give money for that. So it really helps. So,
had we done it with Casa de Spain, then we would have. I really feel like that electrical thing we would have seen it and we would have said, "Oh, we need to address that." Right? Like it wouldn't have been a major issue with us, and it wasn't a major issue ever. But it felt a lot of contentious. It felt contentious there, and so I encourage sellers like, look, if you can afford it, just go ahead and get that inspection. Go ahead and know what your roof looks like, because when's the last time you looked at your roof? Now yours is new, so I'm just saying you probably don't need to. But when's the last time? I looked at mine yesterday because it's older, and I keep looking at it, going, "Do I got to get into it?" But not to say like a lot of people don't. When's the last time you looked to see if any of your flashing was falling down? When's the last time you looked to see if you have any mold or mildew on your chimney? When's the last time you tested all your outlets to make sure they're working and your GFIs are working properly? When's the last time? Yeah, you ran your dishwasher last night, so you know that's working. But do you know if your electrical panel is producing too much heat? Do you know your garage doors are backing up at the right time so that when your beautiful, wonderful children are out there, that it's safe for them? Those types of things. And he does that. And it's not just Greg, it's all of them doing that. And it's so important that here we are looking at all these stats right here saying that our prices are going up $100,000. We need to protect ourselves.
For sure. Greg, what is one, I say if you had a microphone, but you do have a microphone right now. What is one overall tip that if you could just say it to everybody buying or selling right now regarding their upcoming inspection, what is that one thing you would tell people?
As far as being ready for the inspection, or as far as like a seller?
Sure.
Okay, so sellers, if you can have everything accessible. We don't like putting in our reports that we could not get to something because there's furniture in the way, or because there's storage. People are getting ready to move, so they move everything to their garages or get ready to move. And we can't say anything about what's going on out there. If you can just hold tight, or at least give us pathways, access to plugs and panels and attic access and all that, you can do those things. That is huge for us.
What about a tip for a buyer who's going to be receiving that inspection and really going through it with a fine-tooth comb? What would you say to a buyer when they read an inspection report?
And other inspectors may not be like me, but I would say for buyers, don't be afraid to ask questions about your inspection. We don't feel like you're trying to make sure we get our job. We feel like you need an understanding of what we're trying to say, and then we learn as inspectors how to even word that differently the next time, because again, our reports are done in conversation. They're just sentences. They're not this big gigantic paragraph of the code. It's what's going on. So we want to be able to get that so you can see it. So I would say buyers, don't be afraid to ask questions. If your inspector is offended by your questions, that's not good. That's not a good thing. Because we want to be. We want to answer questions. That is one of the funnest parts to me. It's not
some things that aren't panic driven that you're going to find at a lot of houses. You're going to find things on one or two. I can't think of an issue, but you'll find the garage door is pretty common. Well, guys,
Yeah.
it's literally a flathead screwdriver in this of a turn. That's what it
Right.
takes.
Right.
Okay, so like, don't walk
Yeah.
away from a house for this. Like,
Yeah.
and so, but people freak out and go, well, this is safety. This is going to kill somebody. Well, hold on. It could be, but we can fix it. And so you ask those questions. How big of a deal is this? Is a great question to ask. Is this major? Because then you're able to go back and only request those major things. And I'm not saying you can request anything you want, but you can request the major things, and you know what's the important to ask for. And that will keep your home in good condition for years to come.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask the inspector, hey, if you had a top 5 list, we can't tell you the order you ought to do things in, but we can say the top 5 list as far as what we're looking at for major defects. We're glad to tell you what those 1 or 2 or 3 items are. And many times I'm like, hey, there's nothing major here. Anything here can be fixed. You can probably do a lot of it yourself.
Yeah.
YouTube is your friend. You want to, you want to get an electrician to work on electrical, and you want to get a plumber to work on plumbing. But when it comes to replacing wood, or when it comes to cleaning something out, hey, YouTube your friend. Use YouTube for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's such good advice. Hey, Beau, we're running out of time, but I wanted to end this with you. If you are going to be buying or selling, this month, or you're planning this month for January, one overall tip for buyers and sellers in Madison.
In regards to inspection, or just in general?
For buying or selling their home, not inspection related.
Go now. And here's what I mean.
Go now for sellers.
If you're seller, houses typically, sell now. Houses typically stay on the market a little bit longer in December. But actually, I don't know if your husband told you, I drove by your house the other day and I talked to you. To him for a minute when he was in the garage, and I ran by and said hello. But you have all your beautiful Christmas decor on your front porch, right? And then you have your beautiful tree in your house, and you have your everything right now in the house. It's always beautiful, which means people come in. And so you might see them stay on the market longer because you don't get quite as many views. But traditionally, we see full price, better priced offers because they have walked in and felt the warmth of Christmas time and all the joyful holiday things. So that would be it. And then I would say buyers, I would say it's okay to get in the market still. I say that every month, but it's okay. Don't be afraid. Find what you want. And when you find it, go. Don't go to something you don't want, but when you find it, go.
That's so good. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. These two gentlemen, they are the experts in what they do. If you cannot tell, they know their stuff, but they also are very approachable, very warm. I'm going to put their information, their emails, their contact information, website in the notes here on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, website. So reach out to them with questions. It is so important. I say this just as a community member and someone that went through this recently, to have the professionals represent you when you are making the biggest purchase of your life. I would not have just anyone on this series. If you were an All Things Madison follower, you know that credibility and, I tattoo these businesses to my arm. I fully support both of these guys. So reach out to them to get your home on the market ASAP, get that inspection done quick. And I look forward to Beau talking with you in January. Greg, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Just have a wealth of wisdom, and I appreciate you sharing that with our viewers today. So thank you so much, guys. We'll talk next month.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Bye.